Before our wedding week, I accidentally found my girlfriend's abortion medical record. My girlfriend, who had always claimed to be asexual, had secretly had an abortion for someone else. I didn't confront her, but put the record back in place. For the next week, I accompanied her to try on wedding dresses and choose rings as planned. However, on the wedding day, my girlfriend, who had been waiting for the groom for a long time, went crazy. Holding the abortion record, I was silent for a long time. I've known Emma for 3 years. She said she was asexual and always refused physical contact with me. I believed her in these 3 years. Apart from holding hands and hugging, we barely kissed a few times. I always thought she was a traditional girl and even felt fortunate. But the medical record in front of me slapped me hard, mocking my stupidity. The girl I treated with such care and affection had already been taken advantage of by others, even to the point of having an abortion. I put the record back as if deceiving myself. As long as I pretended not to have seen it, our relationship could remain as it was. Late at night, Emma came back with another man. The moment I saw him, it was like thunder crashing in my mind. "Oliver, what are you standing there for? Come and help." Emma snapped at me. I sat on the sofa, motionless, staring fixedly at the man beside her. "Emma, what do you mean by bringing another man home?" Emma frowned, looking impatient. "What are you shouting about? Leo is drunk today. I was worried about his safety. So what's wrong with letting him stay for one night?" Leo raised his head. His lips were slightly swollen, and there were faint red marks on his neck. It needed no guesswork to know what had happened. He sneered at me provocatively. "Sorry, excuse me." Emma pushed me aside, helped him, and went into the room without a second thought. Leo was Emma's boss and also her cousin's boyfriend. But before they could get married, Emma's cousin passed away. For all these years, Emma had called Leo brother. After helping Leo sit on the sofa, Emma went into the kitchen. She, who had never cooked before, surprisingly started making hangover tea. Her movements were so skilled that she was clearly no stranger to it. She had said she hated men who drank, so I always had soft drinks at business dinners or gatherings with friends. So, for whom had she learned this skill? As soon as the hangover soup was ready, Emma brought it to Leo and fed him spoon by spoon. Leo put his arm around her slim waist and looked at me with a provocative gaze. My heart sank deeper and deeper. I thought they would restrain themselves, but Emma directly helped Leo into the master bedroom. This house was bought with my hard-earned money as our wedding home, but I, the owner, was sent to the guest room while another man slept in the master bedroom. The guest room isn't cleaned. It's rude to let guests stay there. "Just make do," Emma said matter-of-factly. But this was our wedding home. How could I let another man sleep here? I wanted to refuse, but Emma wasn't asking for my opinion. She was informing me. They stayed in the master bedroom until around 2 a.m. when Emma reluctantly returned to the guest room. Lying in bed, my mind was filled with the abortion record and their intimate interactions. When Emma opened the door, I wanted to confront her. If she didn't love me, why did she accept my proposal? Since she did, why couldn't she keep a distance from other men? Why did she act intimately with another man right in front of me? Countless questions weighed on my mind, but when they reached my lips, they turned into a bitter and helpless sentence. "Emma, we're getting married soon. If you regret it, tell me in advance." I thought I had made it euphemistic enough. I hadn't exposed her deeds, just hoping she would preserve the last bit of dignity for both of us. I expected her to be angry, guilty, or even agree to cancel the wedding. But instead, her face darkened. "What do you mean? Just because I talked to Leo, you threaten me with canceling the wedding? Oliver, you're almost 30. Stop being so childish." Childish. My throat tightened, and I spoke almost hoarsely. "You and Leo, didn't you used to—" That was the past. Emma interrupted impatiently. "Can you stop bringing up old things?" My heart ached. I knew bringing up the past wasn't good, but how could I control myself? Emma said she didn't like taking photos. In the 5 years we've been together, the only photo we have was taken at a company dinner. I thought it was just her personality, but in her tablet, there were hundreds of photos of her and Leo holding hands, hugging, kissing. We had a big fight over this. After calming down, she vowed that she and Leo were in the past and that she only saw him as a brother now. I believed her But how did she treat me? If I hadn't found that abortion record, I wouldn't have known she could do such a thing. I looked at her for a long time. Then, as always, I apologized first. Sorry, I shouldn't have overthought. Don't let it happen again, Emma said, then got up to take a shower. She went to bed and turned her back to me, falling asleep. I, however, tossed and turned, unable to sleep. I thought back to the past. When Emma's parents died in a plane crash, she became the head of the company overnight. I was the only one by her side, comforting her for her loss and helping her deal with the company's difficulties. When she drank so much at a business dinner that she had a gastric hemorrhage, I stayed by her bed all night. When she couldn't sleep, I told her stories to help her fall asleep. At that time, Emma would nestle in my arms and say, "Oh, Elle, remember to love me forever. I only have you." But as the company got on track, everything changed. Leo came back, and they did almost everything together. Eating, shopping, watching movies. Emma said Leo was her brother, her family, who always came before me, her boyfriend. She even warned me to respect Leo as an elder. But since when does an elder get involved with their junior's girlfriend? Staring at the ceiling, I stayed awake all night. After all these years, it was hard to let go of Emma. But I also couldn't marry a woman who didn't love me. I decided not to get married. This was the decision I made after a night of struggling. The next morning, before I could say anything, I fell seriously ill. After staying up all night, my head ached as if it were splitting. When Emma saw my pale face, she frowned with obvious impatience. "Are you really that delicate as a man?" she snapped. "I'll send Leo back first in case you infect him. I'll take you to the hospital when I return." Without waiting for my response, she grabbed the car keys and left. Watching her back disappear, a dull pain struck my heart again. Though I'd mentally prepared myself, I still felt unwilling. After all these years, how could she break her promise to me? I waited silently at home, thinking that if she showed even a shred of concern upon her return, I would cancel the wedding myself to preserve her dignity. But the entire day passed, and instead of Emma, I saw a moment's post from Leo. "Thank you, baby, for staying by my side." The photo showed them in a Western restaurant. Emma was feeding him a piece of meat with a tender smile on her face. The moment I saw the picture, all my hopes vanished. After years of companionship, even a stray dog would develop feelings. But in her eyes, I seemed less than that. If she showed no mercy, neither would I. Summoning my strength, I went to the hospital alone. While getting in for a drip, Emma called. "I'm working overtime and can't come back. Buy some medicine from the pharmacy," she said before hanging up abruptly. Not even a word of concern. In all these years, whenever she felt unwell, I never left her side. I never expected repayment for my care. But as her fiancé, shouldn't she at least feel some responsibility? Yet here she was flirting with another man while her husband-to-be was sick. Didn't she feel any guilt? Holding my phone, I contacted Julian, the CEO of Emma's company rival. "Mr. Julian, you've always wanted the shares I hold. I'm willing to sell them at a low price." Since she showed no loyalty, I wouldn't hold back either. When I returned home, a call from the bridal shop came. "Oliver, when is it convenient for you and your wife to take wedding photos? There's less than a week until the wedding, and if we delay, the photos might not be ready in time." After hanging up, I messaged Emma, but she didn't reply. Even calls went unanswered. I went to her company only to be told by the secretary, "CEO Emma is hosting an induction ceremony for CEO Leo today." An induction ceremony. I frowned. In all the years the company had existed, no employee had ever received such a grand welcome from the boss. Leo's status in Emma's heart was indeed extraordinary. When I arrived at the ceremony venue, the irony deepened. The induction event was more luxurious than our engagement party. As I was about to enter, Emma grabbed me from behind. "Leo's ceremony. Your presence will ruin his mood. By the way, he's my new special assistant now." I took a deep breath, my voice trembling despite my efforts. What about me? I never thought that after just one illness, my position had been replaced. How far did Emma want to push me? She dismissed me. "You've worked too hard all these years. I want you to rest. Besides, you only have a regular bachelor's degree, while Leo graduated from a top foreign university. He's far more capable." You could just stay home and enjoy life. I couldn't help but laugh coldly. Now she was looking down on my education when I accompanied her to business dinners, even ending up in the hospital from drinking. Why didn't she mind my degree? Then seeing my silence, Emma grew more irritated. Don't cause trouble or else. Understand. I'll go to HR to resign later. I interrupted, my face calm. Pleased with my compliance, she softened. Good. Now, leave if there's nothing else. Leo was the star of the party, and she, as his support, had to stay by his side. The bridal shop is urging us to take photos in a few days. I'm busy. She cut me off. Okay. I left without looking back and called the wedding planner. I want to replace the photos and videos for the wedding day. Since they had no shame, I wouldn't hold back. Emma claimed to be working overtime, but Leo sent me photos of them kissing passionately in a hotel bed. I saved them calmly. 2 days later, I called her about fitting the wedding attire. I told you I'm working overtime, she snapped. I asked Leo to try on her suit. His build is similar, and he has better taste. Just wear it on the day. She made decisions for me without a second thought. My heart turned completely cold. I only replied with an okay. Leo's audacity exceeded my imagination. Not only did he try on the suit, but he also sent me wedding photos he'd taken with Emma. Who gets married without wedding photos? I helped you out. You can just AI swap your face in. You're welcome. We're family. Flipping through the photos, I saw Emma, who'd always claimed to dislike intimacy, kissing Leo with a look of bliss. I turned off my phone and told the movers, just pack the men's items. After clearing my things for the wedding home, I met with Julian and sold all my shares as agreed. The day before the wedding, Emma finally came back with Leo, who wore a triumphant grin. They brought me his suit, and Leo volunteered to be our best man. The suit was clearly a discounted cheap one, wrinkled and uncomfortable on me. In contrast, Leo's best man suit was custom-tailored, adorned with an expensive diamond brooch. Standing together, he looked more like the groom. You look handsome, Emma said with a smile, but her eyes never left Leo. After the fitting, she couldn't wait to leave with him. Before going, she reminded me, come pick me up tomorrow with enough sincerity. Make sure your poor relatives behave. I nodded silently. She needn't worry. I'd already informed all relatives the wedding was canceled. No one would come to fetch the bride. As soon as they left, I contacted the major clients I'd secured for the company. I've switched to a new company. If you need cooperation in the future, I can offer you more favorable terms. Late at night, I suffered from insomnia again. I wondered what Emma's reaction would be when she found I'd fled the wedding. What expression would cross her face when she saw the evidence of her infidelity? As dawn broke, I dragged my luggage to the high-speed rail station. Just as the scheduled bridal pickup time arrived, I boarded the train. About 5 minutes later, Emma's call came in. I turned off my phone without a second thought. When I got off the train and powered it on, a flood of messages poured in, causing the phone to freeze for a moment. Where are you? What time is it? Why haven't you come? You're half an hour late. If you don't come soon, I'll go to the wedding venue with Leo. Don't regret it. What do you mean? You know everything. It's not what you think. Come back and I can explain. Flipping through the messages, all I felt was irony. In all our years together, this was the first time she'd messaged me so much. I didn't reply. Instead, I blocked and deleted her contact. How could she think I'd still want to marry her after what she'd done? My feelings for her had been exhausted by her repeated hurts. She didn't love me, but agreed to marry me, then tangled with another man. If she'd spared even a thought for me, she wouldn't have acted this way. No one stays in one place forever. Since she chose to let go, I could choose to leave. With the phone still ringing incessantly, I got a new SIM card and registered fresh accounts for WeChat and other platforms. Ethan, the boss of my new company, hosted a welcome banquet with senior executives. Was she out her mind? You're so capable. Instead of cherishing you, she hooked up with her cousin's husband. Seeing my solemn expression, Ethan raised his glass instead of prying further. Here's to our future success. Ethan and I were old acquaintances, having discussed cooperation many times before. Like him, many other bosses I'd worked with had tried to recruit me, but I'd stayed loyal to Emma and the company we'd built together. Emma had belittled my education, but can a degree truly measure a person's ability? In the workplace, education is never the only standard. Strength is. In the end, Emma had just used my degree as an excuse to make way for her good brother. After the banquet, Ethan arranged for an assistant to drive me back and even promised a year of rent-free housing when he hired me. Take a good rest. You can start work whenever you're ready. Worried that Emma's infidelity might upset me, he postponed my start date. He even asked his daughter, who'd studied abroad, to accompany me shopping, clearly hoping to set us up. His daughter, Sophia, was 5 years younger than me. To this, he laughed. You can't catch a wolf without sacrificing a child. Meeting Sophia surprised me. While Ethan was portly, his daughter was breathtakingly beautiful. Unlike my awkwardness, Sophia was composed and gracious. Mr. Oliver, don't feel pressured. My dad is just like that. Treat me as your tour guide and companion. I learned she studied art and was the campus beauty at her school. In the following days, she stuck by my side, calling me brother sweetly. She was easy to get along with and asked if I wanted to travel to relax. I thought of the places I dreamed of visiting with Emma Shina, to see the Terracotta Army and eat RUO and cold noodles, Chengdu for hot pot, and strolling along Taiyuli, Dali, and Yunnan to experience love by Ira Lake. Emma had always made excuses about being too busy, but now I could do as I pleased without tiptoeing around her feelings. Without hesitation, Sophia bought plane tickets, and we arrived in Xi'an that afternoon. She called over a group of friends, and looking at the diverse beauties before me, I couldn't help but joke, so this is birds of a feather flock together. Sophia playfully had them all call me brother. Though awkward, it was hard to stay in a bad mood. While I was enjoying myself, Emma's situation was dire. A friend called gleefully. I went to the wedding to watch the show. When the videos of her cheating played, both of their faces turned green. They're classic cases of wanting to have their cake and eat it too. If they wanted to be together, they should have just owned up to it. The couple issued statements to explain, but the more they explained, the more eager people were to gossip. Leo's past was soon dug up. He'd already been involved with Emma when he was with her cousin. Now, the two had become the laughingstock of the industry. Of course, mere gossip wasn't enough to trouble Emma. After all, thick skin can weather that. What truly bothered her was that I'd sold my shares to the rival company, triggering internal power struggles. With Emma's scandal as chairman, many clients canceled contracts and the company's upcoming IPO collapsed. She brought it on herself, I said before hanging up, then continued traveling with Sophia across the country. Wyong, Tibet, Beijing. When we landed in Dali, Emma learned of my itinerary and rushed to the airport to intercept me. Upon hearing this, I immediately booked a return ticket to Shanghai. I didn't want to see her, but our circles were small. If she was determined, finding me wouldn't be hard. So, I took the initiative to propose to Ethan that I join the Overseas Market Development Project, which he approved immediately. But when I landed abroad, Sophia greeted me with a grin. Surprise. Looking at her, I was speechless. Why are you here? Sophia pouted pitifully. Dad said, if I don't take good care of you, he'll cut off my allowance. You wouldn't be that heartless, would you, brother? I laughed and flicked her forehead gently. After that, she clung to me whenever she wasn't in class. I need a date for the school dance. Please help me. It's not safe for me to live alone. Let's share an apartment for better security. With so many excuses, even a fool would understand her feelings. But I dared not take the initiative to break through that thin line. There was fear in my heart until one time, when she was taking a shower, she suddenly called my name from the bathroom. Brother, I forgot to take my towel. Can you bring it to me? After a moment of hesitation, I picked up the towel and walked to the door, opening it a crack. I intended to stuff the towel in, but she unexpectedly pulled the door wide open. I froze in place. She smiled at me, water droplets sliding down her delicate collarbone, her cleavage and slender legs fully exposed. It was impossible to miss. No wonder she was the campus beauty. Startled, I quickly turned my head. Flee the wedding. She became nothing to me. I thought Emma and I had completely severed ties. But unexpectedly, I met her abroad. She looked much thinner, her mental state exhausted. Her clothes were wrinkled as if she hadn't taken care of herself in ages. The moment she saw me, Her eyes lit up, and she ran over. Oliver, I finally found you. While she was excited, I only felt annoyed. What do you want? Seemingly unprepared for my cold attitude, Emma's brows furrowed with anger. How can you ask that? If you hadn't run away without a word, I wouldn't have spent half a year searching for you across the country. Do you know how I've been these days? I cut her off. You cheated before the wedding. I see nothing wrong with my actions. If you have any complaints, you can sue me. I turned to leave, but she grabbed my hand. Please listen to me. I admit I liked Leo, but that's in the past. The only person I truly love is you. I never meant to betray you. Never meant to betray. Her words struck me as ridiculous. Taking wedding photos with Leo could be called a momentary lapse. But sleeping with him, getting pregnant, and having an abortion, she spread her legs willingly, right? I didn't even have the urge to argue. So I shook off her hand. Don't touch me. You're dirty. She stared at me fixedly, then suddenly laughed. I get it. You're jealous because I kept in touch with Leo, aren't you? I promise I'll cut off all ties with him. Now, will you come back with me? She reached out to grab me again. I sneered and swatted her hand away. You're quite confident. Why would you think I'm jealous? Because of our years of relationship, Emma declared firmly. You love me so much. How could you let go so easily? You're just angry. Wait, I'll prove it to you. I'll break up with Leo. With that, she turned and stormed off. Watching her back, I wondered, was she truly that confident, or couldn't she accept that I no longer loved her? I didn't dwell on it and hurried to the meeting place for the cooperation. The client was a representative of a well-known local company. When we met, I looked at the mixed-race beauty before me and extended my hand. Long time no see, Miss Vivian. Vivian smiled, pulling a large bouquet of roses from behind. Here, they were on sale. I bought them for you. I took them with a wry smile. Despite being here for a while, I still struggled to accept their enthusiasm. Thank you for the flowers. It would be better if the cooperation terms were more favorable. She laughed. Of course, but only if you be my boyfriend. I retorted without hesitation. If that were the case, you should give them to me for free instead of bargaining. Ha! If you're sincere, I'm always available. We bantered back and forth. After dinner, we signed the contract. She was highly sincere, offering not only favorable prices, but also inviting me to her yacht. I gladly accepted. After the party, I helped the drunk Vivian off the yacht. She clung to me, her blurred eyes roaming over me. Oliver, I've never liked a man this much. You're so charming in my eyes. Can you give me a chance to date you? By the roadside, Sophia had been waiting for a long time. Seeing this, she put on a fake smile, ran to my side, and pushed Vivian toward her friend. She's drunk. Take her home now. In the car on the way back, Sophia was clearly jealous. Why didn't you push her away? Do you like her? Her face remained sullen throughout the ride, nearly causing accidents several times. When we finally arrived home, she pulled me back before I could get out. Explain why you were with that woman. I felt irritated and cut off her questioning after getting out of the car. Sophia, we're just friends. I don't need to account for my love life to you, do I? She lowered her head, her eyes red. I'm sorry, brother. I was just jealous. It's my birthday today. I thought you'd stay with me, but you... Her voice trailed off, trembling at the end. I felt guilty. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was your birthday. I didn't even prepare a gift. She shook her head vigorously. It's okay. See, can you let me hug you as a birthday present for me? Is that okay? She looked up tentatively, big eyes glistening with unshed tears. Her pitiful expression made refusal impossible. I sighed and nodded. She stepped forward to hug me, arms winding around my waist, head pressing against my chest. I tensed, unsure where to put my hands. Suddenly, she stood on tiptoe and brushed a quick kiss against my lips. My birthday wish is to marry you. The action was so swift, I had no time to react. Before I could speak, a shadow lunged from the side. It was Emma, her face livid. She slapped Sophia across the cheek. How dare you seduce my husband? I grabbed Emma's wrist and flung it away, stepping between her and Sophia. Emma, are you crazy? I'd never seen her so deranged. She stared at me in disbelief, shouting angrily. Who is this? What's your relationship with her? I looked at her coldly. I don't see how that's any of your business. How is it not? I'm your fiancé. Not anymore. Emma tried to rein in her temper, wearing an expression of, I see through you. You're just mad at me because of Leo, right? I kicked him out of our house. We'll have nothing to do with each other from now on. So before coming to me today, Leo was still living in our wedding home. A wave of nausea hit me. Emma, we broke up. Your business with other men has nothing to do with me. Broken up? I don't agree. She seethed. I apologized. What more do you want? I was about to respond when Sophia suddenly gasped. I turned to see blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. All patience with Emma vanished. I pulled Sophia home, slamming the door in Emma's face as she tried to follow. As I bandaged Sophia's wound, her tearful look tugged at my heart. Brother, that cheating __ doesn't deserve you. Even that mixed-race woman is better than her. I ignored her rambling. After applying medicine, I stood up. Sophia, I know your feelings, but we're not suitable. There's a 5-year age gap. You're young and deserve better. To my surprise, she brightened. In 5 years, I'll be your age. If I still like you, then will you be with me? I wanted to refuse, but her expectant gaze made me nod. I didn't believe anyone would wait that long. She might change her mind. Deal. Don't go back on your word. She hugged me excitedly, nuzzling against my chest. Watching her, my dormant heart began to race. I felt a flicker of expectation for the future. As for Emma, I dismissed her. She only saw me as something that belonged to her, now snatched away. With her pride, she'd surely leave soon. But she rented the apartment across from mine, constantly finding ways to approach me, undeterred by Sophia's hostility. One day after work, she cornered me. Her bloodshot eyes showed she hadn't been sleeping. Oliver, I was wrong about Leo, but you've been abroad, getting close to so many women. We're even now. Come home and marry me. I'll pretend none of this happened. It was rare for her to concede, but I refused. Go back alone. Rejected again. Emma's face darkened. She snapped. When will you stop? I made a mistake first, but you humiliated me by fleeing the wedding and sold my shares to rivals, ruining my IPO. Aren't you over it yet? I watched her expressionlessly. When she finished, I said flatly, I left because I stopped loving you. As I turned to go, she grabbed me, face contorted with anger. Stop playing the victim. Don't you share any blame for where we are? I sighed. To end her harassment, I had to clarify. Emma, I did reflect. When our relationship faded, I tried to save it, but you only grew impatient and cheated. Was it because I bored you or because you still loved Leo? I looked at her steadily. Now I know you cheated. You betrayed the relationship. You're the one who should reflect. My problem isn't that you stopped loving me. It's that you did. Tears streamed down her face. But I regret it, and I pushed her away. Why should I pay for your mistakes? After that night, Emma approached me several times, but I ignored her. Sensing my resolve, she finally left. For the next 5 years, she traveled abroad periodically to find me. When I refused to meet, she'd watch from afar, feigning infatuation. Sophia, however, waited faithfully for 5 years. She tirelessly stayed by my side, working, cooking, shopping. I could no longer refuse such love. On Valentine's Day, she confessed after a few drinks. This time, I pulled her into my arms. We officially became a couple that night, and Emma never appeared again, vanishing from my life completely. Later, a friend told me she'd gotten pregnant by Leo again and married him. Their marriage was turbulent. Leo resented her post-pregnancy body and kept a mistress with her money. Emma fought constantly, but only drove Leo away, and he brazenly brought the mistress home, just as she'd once done to me. The day Emma stabbed the mistress, Sophia and I got married. She gave birth to our daughter not long after, and I successfully took over Ethan's family company, becoming its chairman. After Emma was released from prison, she divorced Leo. She had several more marriages afterward, but none worked out. Her company also declined day by day due to her decadence. The day Emma's group declared bankruptcy was my daughter's 5th birthday. Emma appeared at the door of the celebration. She was almost emaciated, having lost all the arrogance of her past. Seeing me, she stood up with a bitter smile. Oliver, if we hadn't broken up, would we have a happy family and both children by now? I didn't answer, for the answer was obvious. Husband, come here quickly. Sophia waved to me, and I smiled as I walked to her side. The photographer gestured to us with a smile. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, cheese. The frame froze. My wife and I looked at each other, our faces full of happiness.